Clarity Clinical Solutions.
Welcome to this essential training on FDA Form 1572, the cornerstone document that establishes the formal relationship between a clinical investigator and the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. This form, officially titled the Statement of Investigator, is a legally binding commitment that every investigator must sign before conducting a clinical trial under an IND application. By the end of this module, you will understand every section of the 1572 and why accuracy here is non-negotiable for regulatory compliance. FDA Form 1572 is the investigational new drug applications mechanism for ensuring that clinical investigators understand and accept their regulatory responsibilities. It is a signed agreement between the investigator and the FDA, submitted through the study sponsor, declaring that the investigator will conduct the study in accordance with federal regulations, the study protocol, and good clinical practice guidelines. Without a signed, current 1572 on file, no investigator may enroll a single subject into an IND study. The first sections of the 1572 capture the investigators identifying information and qualifications. Section 1 requires the investigator's name, business address, and contact information. Section 2 lists the specific clinical research fellowship or training that qualifies the investigator to conduct the study. Section 3 names all sub-investigators who will be assisting with the trial. Every individual listed here must be appropriately qualified, and the investigator bears responsibility for their oversight. Sections 4 through 9 contain the heart of the investigator's commitments. Section 4 pledges compliance with FDA regulations and the study protocol. Section 5 commits to obtaining IRB approval before starting. Section 6 promises to supervise the investigation properly. Section 7 ensures informed consent will be obtained from every subject. Section 8 commits to reporting adverse events promptly. Section 9 requires the investigator to read and understand the investigator's brochure. Section 9 of the 1572 requires the investigator to certify that they have read and understand the investigator's brochure, the comprehensive document summarizing all preclinical and clinical data about the investigational product. This ensures the investigator is fully informed of potential risks and benefits before treating subjects. Additionally, the investigator must provide financial disclosure information as required by 21 CFR Part 54, typically through a separate form linked to the 1572 submission. A 1572 is not a static document, it must be updated whenever significant changes occur during a study. New sub-investigators joining the team, changes in the investigator's contact information, or a new investigator's brochure being issued all trigger an update requirement. The investigator must sign and date a new 1572 reflecting the changes, and the sponsor submits it to the FDA as a protocol amendment. Failure to keep the 1572 current is a common FDA inspection finding. The 1572 must be signed by the clinical investigator, typically the principal investigator at a site. This person is usually a licensed physician who will personally conduct or supervise the investigation. The sponsor is responsible for collecting the signed 1572 from each investigator listed on the IND application and maintaining it in the study regulatory file. The investigator keeps a copy as well. Both parties must ensure the document is complete, accurate, and submitted before any study-related activities begin. During clinical investigator inspections, the FDA frequently cites 1,572 related deficiencies. Common findings include outdated forms that don't list all current sub-investigators, unsigned or undated forms, investigators failing to recertify after reading a revised investigator's brochure, and discrepancies between the 1572 and other study documents. These errors suggest poor regulatory oversight and can lead to Form 483 observations, warning letters, or even clinical hold on the study. Effective 1572 management starts with a tracking system that monitors expiration dates, staff changes, and investigators' brochure version updates. Designate a regulatory coordinator at each site who reviews the 1572 quarterly and whenever a change occurs. Maintain a master log linking each study's IND number to its current 1572 version. Train all investigators and sub-investigators on what triggers an amendment. Proactive management prevents the chaos of last-minute submissions when the monitor requests an updated form. In multi-center clinical trials, each investigator at each site signs their own separate 1572. The coordinating center or lead investigator does not sign on behalf of other sites. The sponsor is responsible for collecting and reviewing all 1,572s from every participating site before the study initiates. This creates a significant document management challenge, especially in large global trials. Electronic regulatory files with automated version tracking have become essential tools for managing this complexity across dozens of sites. Non-compliance with 1,572 requirements carries serious consequences. The FDA can issue a Form 483 observation, send a warning letter, or in severe cases disqualify the investigator from receiving investigational products. The sponsor may place the site on hold or terminate the study entirely. Data collected under an invalid or missing 1572 may be deemed unusable for the NDA submission. Beyond regulatory action, non-compliance damages the investigator's professional reputation and the institution's research standing. The 1572 is often confused with other clinical trial documents, but each serves a distinct purpose. The 1572 is the investigator's regulatory commitment to the FDA. The Financial Disclosure Form, FDA 3455, separately collects information about financial interests. The investigator's brochure provides scientific background on the investigational product. The protocol describes the study design and procedures. Understanding these distinctions is critical. A 1572 error cannot be remedied by pointing to correct information on another document. FDA Form 1572 is the investigator's formal declaration of qualifications and commitment to regulatory compliance. It must be signed, dated, and kept current before any subject is enrolled. Updates are required for staff changes, address changes, and investigators' brochure revisions. Each site in a multi-center trial needs its own 1572. Common errors, outdated staff lists, and missing signatures are frequent FDA inspection findings. Treat the 1572 as a living document requiring ongoing attention, not a one-time administrative formality. You have now completed the training module on FDA Form 1572. Remember that this single document represents the foundation of regulatory compliance for clinical investigators. Keep your 1572 current, complete, and accurate. Reference 21 CFR 312.53 for the regulatory requirements. Consult your sponsor's regulatory guidelines and work closely with your IRB and regulatory coordinator. Thank you for your commitment to conducting clinical research with integrity and regulatory excellence.